Officially, there is a problem in the WNBA now. What began as silent annoyance has erupted. And the treatment of Caitlin Clark is the sole reason of it. No calls, no assistance, elbows, and eye pokes. However, the media has finally lost it. They're criticizing the league, criticizing the referees, yell at everyone. Why then did it take so long? What does this signify for Caitlin Clark and the WNBA's future? Fans have been witnessing Caitlin Clark being pushed, seized, and thrown to the ground for weeks. And the stillness has been deafening for weeks. However, now that there is no more stillness, finally, creators on all platforms and major media sites are speaking up. Critics are pointing out what they observe in their own eyes. It was pretty clear that something was brewing, wasn't it? When the authorities failed to maintain control over the game, when they let that kind of thing happen, and it has persisted throughout the season. During the entire season, this game is not the only one. It has persisted throughout the season. Frequent dirty plays, egregious fouls, and complete lack of protection for the biggest talent in the league. Videos of Caitlin being struck after the whistle while the referees were watching have gone viral. Simply turn your head away. No tech, no foul, no justification. Even casual admirers are curious as to why she is receiving this treatment. The media is now posing the same query. This has nothing to do with playing hard or being tough. This concerns allowing a prominent athlete to be harassed and acting as though it's merely a gaming feature. There is an increasing volume of headlines. The WNBA is running out of time, and the criticism is intensifying. When any other the league responds when a player is struck. However, nothing is there when Caitlin is rocked. No fines, no league statement, no news conference. Everyone can see that there is a double standard. Michael Jordan also received hard fouls. But you know what? He received calls as well. He was able to make free throws. There were repercussions. Caitlin is not protected, but she receives the same treatment as if she hadn't been hit every game. For months, the referees tell her to toughen up instead of offering assistance. Additionally, when she ultimately protects herself and a teammate, the media portrays her as dramatic. She is referred to as soft by the players. The league continues to remain silent. It's gotten so awful. In one video, she was seen flying across the baseline as a referee was standing nearby. No whistle yet. Fans, this is the question are inquiring. Is this something other than a basketball? My name is Caitlin Clark, and I'm actually on the verge of leaving the WNBA. It wasn't a basketball game, you know? I felt like I was the target of a hate match. It was clear from the start that there would be conflicts and biased calls. J.C. Sheldon purposefully poked his eye there. I'm also aware that she's not the only one. Every time I go to the court, everyone targets me in search of an opportunity to go out with me. This setting is becoming intolerable to me. Obvious they want to eject me. The physicality is totally out of control, and the referees take no action. Let's face it, not everyone is a fan of Caitlin Clark, and some of that animosity is unrelated. To basketball, she smashed records in college and is breaking them again in the professional ranks. While still getting used to the league, she is young and self-assured. She is therefore a target, not only in the locker room, the media, and even among her own teammates, but also on defense. She hasn't earned her fame, according to several players. As if she had Skippett's statement that she isn't yet worthy of the limelight. However, they foul harder rather than compete harder. They push. They speak in a derogatory manner. They attempt to dismantle her, with drama, not with defense. This is the reality. In a single season, Caitlin Clark is having a greater influence than the majority of players made 5. She is hazardous because of this. Her threat to their ego is more significant than her threat to their game. That is jealousy, not defense. The most unexpected aspect of this is that Caitlin Clark's coach isn't helping either. the Indiana Fever's head coach. Christy Sides has remained silent as her star player is treated like a rag doll. No post-game defense, no fury, and no timeouts. The Fever bench just looks on as Caitlin hits the floor. Fans now think the coach is contributing to the issue rather than solving it. The teams seem to be watching Caitlin become exhausted every game rather than defending her. And nothing changed when fans began to criticize it. Let's be clear, you're not coaching if your best player is insulted, double-teamed, and fouled every night and you do nothing about it. You're merely getting paid. Additionally, the bench's silence speaks louder than words ever could. Although Caitlin Clark serves as the team's spokesperson, she appears to be fighting her battle alone at this point. However, some people are speaking up since joining the Indiana Fever in the middle of the season. Sophie Cunningham has emerged as the impact of Caitlin Clark's surprising enforcer has extended well beyond basketball. Cunningham didn't back down in a recent intense game against the Connecticut Sun. She defended Clark. The fans noticed as she pushed back. Sophie is more than just her tenacity on the court, though. She talked candidly about the difficulties faced by women in the WNBA in an interview with Travis Hearn. "I pray for my husband every night," she stated, "and my future children. You're constantly traveling and it's difficult to establish a life. No one ever tells you how difficult the lifestyle is outside of basketball." Such candor demonstrates the emotional and physical rigor of this league. The readiness of Cunningham Touche demonstrates something that most people don't notice by standing up for her friend and speaking out about the grind. These ladies sacrifice everything to stay in a league because they are human beings. It's not just athletes. It is still not always on their side. Fans have been yelling for months, and now the media is finally voicing their opinions. Keep Caitlin Clark safe before it is too late. She's selling out arenas, breaking viewership records, and drawing record numbers. Additionally, she is being hammered on every possession when the league is silent and her coach observes from the sidelines. The press has had enough. The supporters are fed up. This is intra-guarding partiality. It has to do with justice. The goal is to prevent a generational talent from being squandered before she can realize her full potential. Because this is what's actually taking place. The WNBA desired attention. They succeeded. However, they're no stumbling at the time. And the one who bears the cost is Caitlin Clark. It's time for the league management, coaches, and referees to make a decision. Will you defend the player who is saving your league? Or will you continue to act as though nothing is wrong as the situation becomes more apparent? Do you believe Caitlin Clark is being adequately protected by the WNBA? Or is this the start of something even more significant? For more unvarnished basketball truth, subscribe and leave a comment. They attempted to band together on me with 3 guys as I had to inform their bench after I made the three-pointer to silence them after I had taken their entire team. To put it simply, Marina Murray is I own her bum. She gave me a shove as if it would alter the outcome. With her 6 points and 8 rebounds, she was out there setting Angel Reese records. Me bounds, she must unwind. When the WNBA eventually disciplined Caitlin Clark's attacker, JCS Sheldon blew up. And that isn't overstating things. The league was illuminated by a single eye poke and a vicious takedown. It's a blatant punishment, that's all. And she was mad at Sheldon. Being skilled at basketball, being attractive, and having tenacity are all factors that make you a bad person. Additionally, I believe that this is one of the latest trends in the WNBA. Personally, I think that in addition to being skilled at basketball, some of these women will also look like women. They used to look like guys, but now they appear to be gorgeous women playing hoops. However, is this a single bird or ISIS there? Something much more significant going on in the WNBA? What do you think regarding the WNBA as a whole? I don't believe we've asked you this before. But the moment there are currently in Caitlin and what seems to be a new age of women's basketball, I adore it. I believe that I enjoy competition. It's fantastic for the game, in my opinion. I believe that people think of us when they watch basketball and imagine the sport to be competitive, physical, and a touch chippy. However, I believe W to be equally competitive, if not more so. Do you understand? Something that might bring down everything that has been constructed around Caitlin Clark. Because the league clearly misjudged the situation. If they believed that the $2,000 punishment was sufficient, it was meant to be a commonplace item, just another the Connecticut Sun and Indiana Fever alternate defensively. It became much more repulsive when JCS Sheldon stepped in to protect Caitlin Clark. Instead of just reaching in, Sheldon's hand rushed right for the face of Clark, piercing her eye. What actually caused this to escalate? Thus, it was referred to as a blatant. The audience let out a gasp. Clark staggered back, gripping her face visibly in agony. And yet, it was a blatant one, with no warning or dismissal. The ball is a long distance off. The ball is here, literally. The ball has arrived. The ball has arrived. How did she prod her? The ball has arrived. Has arrived. For example, how did the referees witness this and determine that it was a blatant one? How did they determine that it was a flagrant rather than a flagrant 2? For example, how did they determine that it is a flagrant and not simultaneously? If they had stated no call, I would have respected them more since they could at least be in ignorance. Unnecessary contact is a foul, but not enough to imply intent. That's all. Additionally, Sheldon $2,000 fine. It didn't end there, despite what you would have thought. Shortly after, Sheldon took hold of Clark's arm and, based on slow-motion replay video, dug her fingernails into her flesh. During this specific game, Caitlin Clark repeatedly complained to the officials that she was itching her arm, and to be honest, they were staring at one another the whole time. They were exchanging chirps. Marina Mabori is constantly approaching her from the side. Defensive teammates. Marina Mabori then rushed in, pushing Clark to the ground like it was a wrestling ring while she reeled. As you can see, Caitlin Clark is being guarded here by JC Sheldon. She gives her an eyeball swipe. JC keeps getting in her face, so Caitlin Clark nudges her away. Then Tina Charles rushes over and gestures with her finger at Caitlin Clark. Then, without warning, Marina Mabori throws her to the ground. Let's now take a look at this in slow motion. JCS Sheldon is protecting Caitlin here. Hits her face with a swipe. One is aiming for Thieball. Hits her eyeball with a swipe. It will be necessary for Caitlin to start wearing goggles. After that, Caitlin pulls her away, asking, "Why are you still in my face?" Bad as hell, Marina Mabori throws Caitlin Clark to the ground. It wasn't just a foul call for Clark. No one was protecting her from the attacks, defending her. Hashtags such as ban JCS Sheldon became popular within hours, calling it the year's ugliest play. Fans flocked to Sheldon's social media accounts. In a single day, one of the incident's videos received over 1 million views. Jimmy said in the caption, "This isn't basketball. It's a disgrace. What's going on?" On in the WNBA, protect Caitlin Clark at all costs, Fallon said on his show. At all means, keep Caitlin Clark safe. Stop this. Please, please. Sheldon and Mabori were referred to as envious loser punks by Dave Portoy, who also didn't hold back. The WNBA was being publicly compared to the WWE by late-night broadcasters and sports journalists, who said that the league was becoming a spectacle. Additionally, after Sheldon's suspension, when thawed, the league only imposed a fine and moved on, but the fans were incensed. As this was not the first instance, it fits into a pattern. Clark has been elbowed, shoved, undercut, and now has another poke in the eye. Additionally, the league shrugs whenever the referees turn away, leaving Clark to defend herself. What had happened to the chip? Have you provided an explanation for the technology you received? I'll follow the official route. Inquiries? Well, the text she received had no explanation. I believe it was rather clear that something was going on, don't you think? When the authorities lose control of the game when they let that kind of thing happen, and it has been going on all season, during the entire season. This game is not the only one-dot game. It has persisted throughout the season. This is what occurs, isn't it? This is what occurs. I take it that you have competitive ladies that are the finest in their field. Additionally, when you let children engage in physical play and you let these events to take place, they will compete and they will support their teammates. Yes, it is precisely what you would anticipate given the intense rivalry. Here's why that is a huge issue though. Caitlin Clark is more than a novice. She represents the WNBA. According to Ryan Brewer's financial expert, Dr. Clark was responsible for 26.5% of the league's total revenue during her first season. That's one player responsible for more than 25% of the league's earnings. Take a moment to process that. The Indiana Fever had a decline in crowd to sell out arenas in a single night. Clark is to blame for everything. In a single season, the franchise worth increased from $90 million to $340 million. She does more than simply sell tickets. She's selling merchandise, setting records, and attracting fans who have never seen a WNBA game before. Nevertheless, she's being regarded as a disposable novice, unprotected, pushed to the ground, and stabbed in the eye. The fans don't like it. They want to know if the NBA would ever let is it possible that a player would still be on the floor if they blindsided LeBron James, poked him in the eye, and shoved him to the ground. That's right. Then the unexpected occurred. JCS Sheldon lost his temper. Following the penalty was then, Sheldon was spotted slamming her water bottle, refusing to be interviewed, and rushing off the court. She was heard saying, "This is a joke," according to those close to the squad. For Sheldon, this was more than simply a fine. "They're throwing me under the bus." It was an assassination of character. She believed that in order to save their golden ticket, the league had used her as a scapegoat. Given that Sheldon is currently popular for all the wrong reasons, perhaps she is not entirely incorrect. She is being portrayed as the bad guy, the cheap shot artist, and the embodiment of all the issues with the way the WNBA handles its players. She is not alone in her outbursts either. No other players have spoken up. However, the animosity is intensifying behind the scenes. According to others, the league is manipulating everything to benefit Clark from the take, a break from the spotlight. Sheldon believes that the league is discriminating against her. The supporters are rapidly increasing in the meantime. In just one day, more than 25,000 people signed an online petition demanding Sheldon's suspension and salary dock. Commissioner Adam of the NBA is being tagged by others. Fans want more than sanctions, and Silver begs him to weigh in since, quote, the WNBA commissioner won't. They are demanding multi-game bans for egregious offenses against well-known players, immediate ejections for facial contact, salary-based fines rather than fixed fees, and publicly cited referee accountability assessments. Some even recommended that Caitlin Clark, the victim in this instance, receive the penalty directly. The existing system isn't functioning. Fans also threaten to stop watching if the WNBA continues to ignore it altogether. This goes beyond JCS. Sheldon, Caitlin Clark isn't even the only person involved. This concerns if the WNBA is prepared to defend the same thing that is sustaining it. Because the league won't simply lose a game if this continues. Clark is gravely hurt, or if she decides she's had enough player, it will lose its main attraction, its main source of income, and perhaps even its future. As well as Sheldon, she simply became the focal point of everything. What fans have been speculating about for weeks is confirmed by her reaction. There are separate locker rooms. The players are tense. Additionally, the league-wise tinkering with fire. The WNBA is at a turning point. One route results in more stringent regulations, enhanced player protection, and a significant investment in the league's future. The other immediately devolves into anarchy as sponsors retreat, fans leave, and celebrities like Clark leave. The future of the world is uncertain at the moment. Will the WNBA act before it's too late? That is the true question. Basketball is no longer the only thing at stake. It is political, it is personal, and the business is big stakes. So, is JCS Sheldon the bad guy here? Or is she merely the most recent victim of a league gone awry? Put down your comments with your ideas. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you're angry about the way this league is being managed because, believe me, the drama is only getting better. Began.